Hey guys, so welcome to Trading with Dan. Today I am going to show you guys how I set up my 3Commas automated trading bot. Also the strategy that I use to power that bot to just make the decisions that bot makes, decides when it buys and when it sells. So we'll get straight into it. So here we have my TradingView. This is the strategy that I use to trade with the bot. It's called DMT, and very basically what it is. We have these buy lines and sell lines that will move nearer towards the price as the price moves, based on volatility in the price movement. And then what we have is, when we break one of these lines and we close above it, then we'll get a buy signal, and if we break below one of these lines and close below it, we'll get a sell signal. So also you might see where it says profit. These are the settings that I've got set into the bot. So I've got a stop loss of 3% on short stop and long stop of 3%, and then a take profit on long and shorts of 2%. So straight off the bat you might think, well, okay, that's not a good risk to reward strategy. Obviously I definitely need to win more than I lose. But I'm going to show you that more often than not, in fact actually very rarely will I actually hit the full 3% stop. The indicator will take me out of the trade and put me long, or take me out of a long and put me short before the 3%. So so if you want to look here, look at this one and the recent trades. We had a buy trade here, then it hit the 2% profit. We had a sell trade here that hit the 2% profit. We had a buy trade here, and that didn't hit the 2% profit, and then it actually turned into a sell trade that would have triggered here at this level. So you can see this red line here, this white line is where you enter the buy, and then this red line is the 3% stop. So you can see we actually exit the trade and go short with a 1.73% loss. So that's not obviously a 3% loss. And then similarly here we have a sell trade that doesn't work out. We don't hit the 3% loss, but we actually get out the trade and go long at a 2.33% loss. So yeah, fair enough, these weren't two good trades, but overall the strategy is profitable. If we have a look here, we had a buy, it didn't hit our 3% stop. This didn't actually break this line, so we didn't turn into a sell, and then we got our 2% profit. So another thing that I want to tell you about with this strategy is that when we actually program the bot, we have certain settings that we can use, such as a trailing take profit order. So what I actually do, I set the bot, so for example we get our 2% profit here, and then the bot will then have it won't take the profit there, it will keep running the trade with a trailing take profit that I set at either 1% or 1.5%. But I'll set it at 1% just for the sake of this bot that I'm going to show you guys. So what that means is that if the market keeps going down, we'll stay short, but if we retraces 1%, then it will take us out of the trade. So there's obviously occasions when, like here, you'll see that it will get us to the 2% and then we'll get taken out, because that difference between the high and that low there is going to be more than 1%. Other occasions, let me see what we've got going here. Yeah, so here you can see we had our buy. We had the profit of 2%, which would have been this level here. And then obviously the market kept going, so it went to 2.83%, down to 2.29%, so it didn't retrace by 1% yet. And then we went up again here, the high of this candle, 3.98%, and then 3.4%, so we still didn't retrace 1%. And then we went to the top of this candle here, which was 4.94, and then obviously clearly we would have retraced 1% from there, so we would have ended up getting out around this level here. So that's an example. So if we look at what that is as a an overall trade, sorry. We bought here and then we sold about there, so that's about a 4% gain. So yeah, so when you consider the risk reward initially of a 3% stop and a 2% profit, how we program the bot, we've got the opportunity to run that trade. And then obviously also how we program the system, we will often get out of a trade. So I mean, when we bought here, your stop would have always been either here or higher, which is always going to be higher than that 3% there. So yeah, so right now, so we've gone over that, so let's go over to 3Commas. So what you'll need to do is you will need to link your exchange that you're using. I use Bitmex, so you'd go into my exchanges, you'd go onto Bitmex or whatever exchange you're using here. You would need to name what you're going to call this exchange on 3Commas, so you know that's what this exchange is. So I called mine DMT bot. So when I typed in the name here, I typed in DMT bot. I just put an underscore, just a coding thing. But yep, so an API here. So you go into your Bitmex, you go into your settings, you'll get your create API key. So then you'll have to then type the API key in there, the API secret, connect to the exchange, and then your exchange will then appear down here, providing obviously you've typed these in correctly. Yeah, so then you'll have basically it'll have the name of the exchange, which for me is Bitmex, what I called it, DMT bot, and then obviously you have your portfolio value, so how much money you've got in that account. So yeah, so right, so we've got that. So now we need to create a bot. So we're gonna go onto my bots. I don't have any bots obviously because just set this up for this. Click create a bot, create bot. So this is the name of this bot, Bitmex BTC long bot. So this will be a bot that buys and goes long of the market. The exchange, this is the exchange we've got connected. That's what it's called. Look, DMT bot. You can't change between simple and composite on Bitmex, but so it just is a simple. The pair we're going to use is the XBT to USD. So you can either find it in here or you can just click it, and because it's one of the recommended pairs. It is a long bot. And then we're going to enter trades with market orders, and then what we're actually going to do is per trade I want to risk 1% of my account, but I'm going to have my stop loss is at 3%. So even though I don't always hit that 3%, or very often won't hit that 3%, in theory, if the market conditions are that way, I could so a 3% move could then lose me 1%, can lose me 1% of my account if that's the risk that I want to take. So the easiest way I find to do this is then, so if you think about it, if I've got a balance of this much Bitcoin and the market goes down by 1%, then that would be, I would lose 1% of my account. So my position size would basically be that my account balance size. So that would be the position size that I would take. So if I am going to want to only lose 1% of my account if the market moves 3%, that's 3 times less my position size needs to be then. So when the market moves 3%, then it will only result in a 1% loss on my account. So very quickly, what I need to do then is what I will do is I will just divide 2 point, as you see I've already done this already, 6,783, and yeah, so it roughly equals 0.886. So that would be my position size, and like I did explain to you, I often won't hit that 3%. Very often won't hit that 3%. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to round this up to 1 Bitcoin. So my trade size will be 1 Bitcoin, because I mean, if you think about it on average, I'm not gonna hit the 3%, so I'm still risking, even though my position size is slightly larger, I'm still actually only really going to realistically be risking over like an average of a few trades, 1% of my account per trade. Right, so base market order size, 1 Bitcoin. Safety order size, this doesn't matter because we're not going to use safety orders. And then leverage, I mean, I just put custom and 10x, but it doesn't really matter because if the market does move, I'm not going to get liquidated before the market has moved my 3% stop level. So 10x is, then it will just use enough of my account balance to cover that size position basically. So yeah, I mean, obviously if I'm trading, that's it. I mean, if I'm trading a position size smaller than my overall balance, because I'm risking only 1% per trade, then I mean, I don't actually need to use any leverage. So we've got that sorted now. So the deal start condition that we are going to use is TradingView custom signal, because that's how we're gonna send our orders over to the bot. I mean, there are other ones. These are other ones that they use. That sorry, if I click here, these are other start conditions that you can use on 3Commas, but I just use the TradingView custom signal. Right, so we're going to have what is a target profit of 2%, percentage of total volume. I mean, it doesn't matter what you have it as, because you're only having one base order, so percentage of total volume. And then we're actually going to have the trading take profit on, and the trading deviation of, I'm actually going to change it to 1.5%, because we're giving the trade more chance to go higher then, because you can see 1% is quite tight. So sometimes you will hit that 1% and the market will then keep going up. So what will happen here then is when we get to a 2% profit, when the Bitcoin price has gone up 2%, we are going to then have a trading deviation of 1.5%. So if the price then immediately came down, we would get taken out at a profit of 0.5%. But for example, if we went to 2%, we then went up to 3% and then came down by more than 1.5%, we'll get taken out of trade at 1.5%. And yeah, so you can kind of see how that works. So what we're doing is we are, whilst we might have some of the smaller trades that don't move as far, where we then don't make as much as we could if we just took 2%, we're giving ourselves the chance to make more money with the bigger moves. In fact, what I will actually just change this to 1, just for the sake of how it will run on the system that we're doing, just because how it will run on the strategy. So we're going to change that trading deviation to 1. So we are going to have the stop loss. The stop loss is going to be 3%, but this says stop loss should not be lower than the last safety order. That's because this safety order says 20, but we're going to move that to 0 because we don't want any safety orders. So when it says up here safety order size, it doesn't really matter because we're not having any safety orders. So we're not going to have the trading stop loss on, because we will have the DMT sell or buy line, which will be moving with the price, and that will be our actual trailing stop if you think about it. So we're not going to use one on here, an automatic one. But how it does work, say you've got a stop loss of 3%, say you buy into the market moves up 1%, your stop loss will then move up that 1% with the price the market moves. So now your stop loss would actually be 2% below your entry because it's moved up 1% because the market moved up 1%. Yep, so that's pretty easy to understand. So we don't need any of these advanced settings. Right, so that's all that's set up. So what we need to do now is to click create the bot. Right, so the bot is successfully saved. So I mean, we can click start if we want because it's not going to receive any signals, but we can click start. Bot is turned on. And then we need to actually set up TradingView to send some signals over to this bot. Right, so how we do this is we go onto our TradingView here, and so we want to buy when we then get a buy signal here. So what we do is we are going to go to create an alert. So we click on alerts. These are our alerts here. So we're going to create an alert by clicking on that here. You can obviously do it by clicking there as well. It brings up the same thing. But then when obviously you created them, they will be here so you can see, and then your alert logs when they're triggered will be there. So our condition is going to be our DMT indicator that we've got on here. This long here means when we get a long signal will be when we basically take the long trade. So what we do is we then so obviously we've got that long there. We want this to be once per bar close. So when the bar closes, that will be when we enter the trade. Sorry, we do it once per bar, so it'll be when the bar opens. When the bar opens and we've had the buy signal, that's when we will enter the trade. You can't have this open-ended unless you have the most premium plan. I think I got the second highest one, so you just set it to the furthest out you can set it, which I think is 2 months, I think, or maybe it's 1 month. So we set it for there. So we'll obviously have to keep an eye on that. If we then get towards that date, we'll have to adjust that to keep it going. So you notify an app, show pop-up, send an email, so that will send you email to tell you that you've had a signal. But the important one to click is this webhook URL. So I was using this this guide from 3Commas to how to reverse your position in TradingView, custom signals. So yep, here it shows you the use webhook, not email to SMS. I was actually using email to SMS before, but apparently webhook is better. So we basically copy this link, and then paste that into this webhook URL just here. So that will all be in there. So that's what you need to have there. Right, so these more actions are, that says send email to SMS, which we will unclick that, and yeah, it can play sound if you want. Right, so now we need to put in the message in here that is going to tell the bot what to do. So what we actually need, there's actually another thing that we will need to do, which isn't immediately apparent, because you would be setting this up sort of like, it's like a clean sheet basically. You won't be in any trades yet. So like when I said, say you were in this short trade here and you hadn't got out, and then we then flip to a buy, you would actually want to exit your short trade and then take the long trade. So what you need to do then to actually do this, so it's sort of like a chicken and egg scenario. We've got to do one before the other, and then the other before the other. So we've got to sort of do these both. I can't do this in a logical progression basically. So we need to go to 3Commas again, and then we need to create another bot. So go to my bots basically. So you can see we've got our long bot here. So we now need to create a short bot. So we're going to create a bot. This is going to be Bitmex BTC short bot. The exchange is, that's the exchange again. All these settings are basically going to be the same. XBT USD. Strategy short this time. That's going to be the only real difference. 1 Bitcoin per trade. Market leverage 10. Just in case you want to use your capital to any other trades, just have that as 10. So TradingView custom signal, target take profit 2, trailing on, trailing deviation 1, stop loss on, stop loss 3%, take this safety order down, so that's okay. Stop loss action closed deal, no stop loss timeout, and no trailing stop loss. So that's all quickly set up for us. So now we need to create that bot. We can start that, that's okay. Right, so what we need to do first is you need to assume there is the possibility that you are in a short trade still. So we're going to do the buy bot first. So you've got to assume that we this is the long bot, the long signal, the buy signal. So you're going to have to assume that you could possibly be in a short trade. So the first order you need in here will be to close that trade at market price. So you're going to select this here, copy this, and then we're going to what we're actually going to do is we're going to paste it into here first, because what this will do is tell us that we have created it properly. So we're going to put a comma here, so that will close our other trade, our sell trade, if we are in a sell trade. Obviously, if we're not in a sell trade, then it won't do anything. So we're now going to go over to our, on the 3Commas, we're going to have to go over to our other bot, which will be the buy bot. So these commands here are the commands for this bot, which is the short bot. So we are then going to go to our dashboard. Didn't need to press dashboards. Our DCA bots, my bots. We are then going to go to our buy bot, our long bot, which is this one here. And this will be message to for deal start signal. So we're going to click on this here, copy this. We're going to put this into here. And then what we are actually also going to do is we're going to have a delay on this the buy. So if you were in a short trade, there'll be a slight delay between the signals and then Bitmex getting you out of the trade. So the trade will still fire. Okay, we're going to put a delay. So we're going to put a delay here of 6 seconds. And then one final thing you need to do to combine these two orders, we just need to put one of these square brackets around it. So what we can do on here, this is just going to validate, just check that we've done this correctly. So we click validate, and this says yep. So this we have got a valid order here. So if we actually deleted that and said process, it will tell us nope, it's wrong. So we need to have that back in. And then if we did, for example, if we didn't have the comma here, for example, because this is between the two orders, we delete that comma, process, nope, invalid command. So yep, so we've done it, valid. That's what we need to see. This needs to be valid. Right, so we can select all this now. And we can then copy that and then paste it all into here. So we have now got our order in here that is going to communicate with 3Commas and order our bot. I mean, another thing you can do here, you can just check that this bot ID, look, that will be different to that one because this is a different bot. This is our short bot and this is our long bot. So yep, so you can just obviously check that they're basically different, because if you, I mean, a common mistake you could make is to click on the wrong bot when you get in the commands. So you could do the you could start the short bot again if you didn't go onto the right order. You didn't click onto the long bot to get the long bot's order ID here. So right, so yep, so we've got that in there. So going over to our thingy, so now that is everything set up. Everything here is set up. So what it will mean is when we want to buy, if we're in a short trade, it will get us out, and then it will then buy the market with a slight delay between the orders, because we want Bitmex to process the orders. Okay, you'll have a little bit delay so that it does it. Okay, right, so we're going to click that, create that. So should show up here, shouldn't it? Yep, here we go. That's a slight delay there with TradingView. Yeah, so as you can see, this is our buy order, our buy signal, the condition long look. So it will fire off when we get a buy signal, and then it will order the short position if we're in one, because remember, we could have been taken out for the profit. So if we are in one, but if we're not, then that won't do anything to the short bot, and then we'll just open our long bot. Right, so just another thing to look at on here, you can actually pause these. So this is currently on, so you can see it's green. If I pause this, do you really want to stop the alert? So whilst it's an alert, but it is actually controlling your bot. So providing this is turned on, your bot's turned on, this is actually for your trading. So that's paused, so just click play again to turn it back on again. Right, so now we need to do the same with the short bot. So I mean, you can click create it there. So the same again, DMT, this time it's going to be short, once per bar close. Did you have it once per bar? I think it had it once per bar close. I mean, what it means, all this actually really means is, yeah, once per bar. All this actually really means is that is that if I show you with in the market here, so we have this candle here, and then that is the close. So that is where that yellow line is, once per bar close. But if you actually have it at the bar open, then it will just open it as soon as obviously get this candle that is above. So yeah, so it's a slight difference, but yeah. So right, so sorry, let's do this second signal. So short this time, once per bar, and then expiration. Remember, we can't do open-ended. We've got the webhook URL is saved, so that's great. More actions, play sound. The SMS to email is not on there. Right, so that is all sorted there. So now we just need the commands. So again, we're going to write the commands into here. I mean, what you could actually do is literally just copy that and then paste it up there, then paste that one down there. But I mean, we won't be too clever, and we'll just do it longhand. So we're going to go to 3 commas. So this is our long bot look, strategy long. So we're doing our short trade. So you have to assume there's a possibility we were in a long trade. So we're going to close that at market price. So we're going to copy that, put it into here. We are then going to have to get the commands for our short bot. So we're going to go to our bots again, my bots, go to our short bot here, click on the Bitmex short bot, find our command to then start the deal, so to start the short trade. So we're going to copy that, put it into stick the comma, remember, between the two commands, and then paste it in. And then we're going to have a delay again. So say we were in a long trade, we want to have time for Bitmex to market order us out of that long trade, and then for them to get into the sell trade. So remember, one last thing is we need to have these brackets around the whole of the command, and then we can click process just to check it's working okay. And yep, again, working fine. So I mean, and as you can see, like I said, all we really did was we just swapped these two numbers around. So yeah, so right, we'll copy all this command. We're going to put this into our message here, because this is the message that is getting sent to 3 commas. So we've made sure it is created in a way that obviously the correct way, so 3 commas understands it, and then we can quick create the bot. And obviously now I know that I've got to wait a few seconds for it to pop up. Right, so that is it now. We have set our two bots, so to buy and to sell, and to, if we're in a short trade, to take us out of the short trade and to sell, and if we're in a buy trade, to take us out the buy trade and to sell, and if we were in the opposite, it would be the opposite. Right, so we've got those two bots set up. So now if we go into my bots on here, we can see that the bots will basically both be active. Status on, status on. Yeah, so that is basically it. So we are ready to go. So now it is a case of, I mean, if we look at the chart, we can only really be waiting for a sell signal. So I don't think we're going to get one anytime soon. We're still 200 points away. I mean, obviously, you know, Bitcoin could have a big dump now, but what I am going to do is we're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to maybe play around these settings at some point in the future if we decide we want to. We are going to, yeah, so I'm going to do my updates every day on this. Well, I say I'll do them every day. I'll do my updates on Bitcoin, and obviously show you guys what is going on with the bot that I've got set up. But we aren't going to get anything happening every day on this. I mean, we could potentially have been in a long trade if we set it up before. Well, we would have been taken out of the long trade, so we're currently not in a trade. But yeah, so you guys are going to be able to keep track of me and the bot, and then you can always watch this video again if you then want to, whenever you want to set this up yourself, if you choose to set this up yourself. And yeah, and then obviously I'll do the updates so you guys can see what I'm doing. So yeah, so that this did help a lot for me to set this up. This formatter validator is great for you to check that you've wrote the signal right. And yeah, so that is everything. So any questions you guys have got, I'm more than happy to do a video explaining that. I'll be doing daily videos anyway, keeping you updated on what the bot is doing, keeping you updated on what the DMT signal is doing, which now will be what the bot is doing as well. So yeah, so you guys we can all keep track of that together. You can see the trades that we enter and don't enter, where we get out, where we take our profits, take our stops. So yeah, so thanks for listening, guys. Hope this is useful for you. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just for educational purposes. Trading is risky. Only risk money that you can afford to lose. And then yeah, so also below in the description, we've got my Telegram, my Discord, my Instagram, my Twitter. If you've got any questions you want to ask me on there. I've actually got a referral link for 3Commas. So if you decide you want to set this up yourself, I would appreciate if you did use that link. I mean, I don't actually get anything from it if you pay with crypto, and I think most people just pay with fiat, so I don't really get anything from that anyway. But yeah, there's some other referral links for Bitcoin, sorry, not for Bitcoin, a referral link for Bitmex and Bybit as well if you trade on those platforms. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks again, guys, for listening, and yeah, I hope this was useful, and yeah, I look forward to keeping you guys updated with my bot in real time every day, and then yeah, so you can see how well it does or doesn't work. Great, thanks a lot, guys.